Welcome back, everybody. Bruce Porter joins us now for this week's Dollars and Cents. Thanks for coming in. Good to see you
here.
All right. Here's today's question.
Yep.
Got a lot to cover here, so I'm going to get right to it. Here we go. All right. My parents are getting to the point of needing assistance. My brother and I are trying to figure out what to do and how to approach them with this topic. Any information or tips would be greatly appreciated. So you start talking about needing assistance. My mind goes to maybe a nurse at home, maybe long-term care. But before you get to all that, there's a big conversation you need to have about a lot of topics.
Well, absolutely. It's a very emotional conversation sometimes. Now, here's how you can get past some of the stuff. We're going to give you some tips. They're reluctant to discuss it because they fear losing control. That's one of the main objectives. A lot of our seniors are very private. They want to appear that they've got everything under control, and they don't want to bother the children with their problems. And I've heard that time and time again. Now, we need to be very sensitive to that, but we cannot let that stop us from starting the conversation. It is very important, and the stakes are very high. These are things that really need to be discussed. There are 10 million people right now over the age of 50 caring for their parents at a cost of $3 trillion in lost wages, lost pension benefits, and lost Social Security contributions. Now, that's why the stakes are high. We have to have these conversations. Having a game plan is very important when we're discussing these topics with our parents.
It hurts more on the other end without one.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's going to put a big dent in your retirement planning because you're going to have to take time off to take care of them. So the sooner the better is always the rule of thumb. It may not be comfortable, but you know what? We're going to give you some tips, some starting points, and we'll go from there. It's more difficult after a crisis happens. So you might as well just sit down, have a family dinner, and discuss it. You know, becoming a parent to our parents is never an easy thing.
It's
but
difficult.
It has to be done.
Start with finances?
There's 5 areas to help us start. All right, finances. Bottom line, get a list of the accounts. Get the location, name, and phone number of the advisor and sit in on the next meeting with them. Get a handle on that. If you can consolidate and simplify, I recommend you do that. Get a handle on all of their bills and their reoccurring bills and simplify that process as much as possible. Also, review their Social Security benefits and make sure that they understand how those work. Finances can be just brought into focus and make it, not that you want to do anything with their money, you just want to understand what they're doing. Insurance is the number 2. Bottom line, get a copy of all the policies, get the contact information of the agent, sit in on the next meeting. If there's not a meeting scheduled, schedule a review meeting to sit down and discuss everything. One policy at a time, and know your policy details, the auto, home insurance, their Medicare, all of those policies. Bring all that into focus and understand what they've got. Legal documents. Legal documents is simple. If they have plans, make sure you have a copy of the documents. Make sure you understand if it's a trust, who the trustees are, who the successors are, who the beneficiaries are. Make sure things are titled correctly, etc. Get a handle on that. If you don't understand it, contact the attorney that did it and sit down and go over all those documents.
Very good.
Living arrangements. Make sure that the home they have now is adequate. If there needs to be some updates, maybe some handicap rails in the bathroom, some assistance type tools. Make sure you're aware, and can the home be modified? Can it not? If it can't, what's our game plan for what's the next step? Where are we going to go from here if this becomes unlivable or not an acceptable place for us to stay?
Yeah, think that through. I've installed some of those devices myself, and that can be really tough when you're trying to do it yourself.
Well, they're very helpful.
And then the overall health, right?
The last thing is the health. You know, get a copy of the list of their doctors, the list of medications. One thing about health also, and legal documents, If they have a healthcare directive and they have a DNR,
A DNR, do not
you have to
resuscitate.
have that on your possession in order for it to be enforceable.
Yes,
so
you do.
you can't just have it on file somewhere.
Okay, so we've got finances, insurance, legal documents, living arrangements, and health. Those are the things you need to address.
Absolutely.